right. I was playing on my fraternity team. We played every summer at Darby Park, where all the fraternities got together and they played in a league where all the teams played each other. Well, this summer was my first summer home from college. And like I told you, I was a ball player. So when I found out they had a softball team, I was down to play on the team. Even though playing softball ain't like playing real baseball, because they have underhand pitching on softball. You know, it's a lot slower than throwing 95-mile-an-hour fastballs. So I was batting left-handed because I didn't want to mess up my right-handed swing. I didn't want to mess up my timing to be hitting right-handed. So I was hitting left-handed. I was getting some hits. I was scoring some runs for my team. We were winning. And plus, since I'm a baseball player, I started. They put me in center field. And I'm like, yeah, I'll play center field. I run everything down in the outfield because I'm a ball player. And center field is where I started when I was a little kid. I played the outfield. My daddy taught me how to catch fly balls. He taught me how to judge fly balls. He taught me how to catch ground balls. So playing outfield was real natural for me. And I was playing center field. And as I tell you, nothing drops that's hit in the air. I catch everything in the outfield. That's what I do, because I'm a ball player. I play that game. I'm a baseball player for real. So we were in the game, and we had been undefeated all season. The whole summer we played, and we were undefeated. And we were playing the last game of the season against Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And they were last year's champions. So they just knew they were going to beat us one game this season, but they hadn't beat us yet. So they get to the point where they get two men on base. They have a man on first base and a man on second base with nobody else. And they think they're going to score one of the two people on base, and they're going to tie the game up. And then if they score another person, they're going to go ahead, and they think they're going to win. Well, they get a guy up to bat, and he hits a shot. Oh, man, it's deep. It goes deep, and I'm running on it. It's going over my head, but I'm running. I turn and I run on it, and I'm like, I got to get there. I got to catch it. It can't drop in my outfield. Nothing drops in the outfield. Nothing has dropped all year long. I've caught everything that went in the outfield. And I'm saying, I got to get there. I got to get there. And I'm running. And I'm running. And I'm like, oh, I got to get there. And the ball is traveling. It's traveling. It goes way over my head. But I'm running because it still hasn't started to drop. It's still flying. And I'm running. And I'm running. And I'm like, oh, I got to get there. I got to get there. I got to get there. And I'm running. And I'm like, I got to get there. I got to get there. And all of a sudden the ball starts to come down. And I'm running. And I'm running. And I'm like, okay, I got to get there. I got to get there. Because nothing drops in my outfield. I'm the center fielder. Nothing drops in my outfield. And I'm running. And I'm running. And I'm watching the ball. I'm watching the ball the whole way. And it starts to come down. And it's coming down. And I'm like, oh, it's going to go over my head. I'm not going to get there. I'm not going to get to the ball. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to jump up and catch the ball. I got to catch it. And the ball goes over my head and it's still sailing, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get there. Oh, it's gonna hit the ground, and it's gonna roll, and I'm gonna have to run it down and throw the ball into the infield. Well, I know they got 2 men on base, and both of the men are running because they think this guy is getting ready to hit an in-the-park home run. So they think the ball is going to drop, and it's going to run, and the runners are already running. The second base guy is running to third, and he's on his way to home plate. And the guy on first base is rounding second, and he's going to third. But I'm still running for the ball. So I'm like, oh, man, what do I do? And I'm running, and I see it can't fall. Nothing drops in my outfield. And out of nowhere, my frat, my Sands, my line brother Love, comes out of left field, and he passes me up, and he catches the ball over his shoulder. He runs and catches the ball over his shoulder. He makes a miraculous catch, and I'm shocked. I'm like, where the hell did you come from? And he came all the way from left field, and he ran the ball down. I started in center field, and he outran me to the ball, and he caught the ball. So when he caught it, he flipped it to me, and I turned around and threw a shot. Now, the runners that were running from first base and second base had already scored. At least he thought he did. The first baseman was running around third base on his way to score. At least they thought they were. But when my frat brother Love, Willis Colbert, when the cat man caught the ball, oh man, everybody was hollering, go back, because they got to go back to the original base they were at. Because they left before the ball was caught. So they got to run all the way back to the first base that they started at. So the guys have to get back in the baseline, and they run down third, and then he runs to second, and he got to run all the way to first base. And the other guy got to run down to third, and he got to run to second base. But when I get the ball, I shoot a shot, and I hit second base, but man, right in the chest. He tags second base, and he throws the ball to first base, and we get a triple play. We get a triple play, which doesn't really happen in baseball a lot, but it happened that day. And we got a triple play, and the game was over. And we finished the season. Phi Beta Sigma was on top as an undefeated team for that year. And we won the championship. And we got the jacket that said softball champions 1982. And I was on the team. That's the only year I played. I didn't play any year after that because I'm a baseball player, so I went out and started playing baseball. So that's the end of my story.